Hey guys, what's going on? So we have a big video today. Why is it a big video? It's just a regular recipe, but it's a dish that I never wanted to tackle. Always been afraid of it. It's one of those foods that, dishes that scare Jack, okay? So I've always avoided this dish. Well, people kept hammering me. One day on the live show, Saturday morning, Susan does a super chat. She says, "Hey, can you do beef Wellington?" I'm like, oh, really? I've always been afraid of doing this dish because it's Gordon Ramsay. Come on, it's going to be looked at just like Gordon Ramsay's dish. So I'm just going to do it. If I fail, I fail. If I succeed, I'll be stoked. But we're going to do beef Wellington. But before we get started, I want to thank our sponsor, Dot Store. I've been talking about it for a few weeks. Dot Store is a real deal. All right. It's even better now during the holidays because they're giving my viewers a discount. If you want Dot Store extension on your web address, so let's say you sell shoes, you can get the website shoes.store, all right? And that means you have a store. And they're at a discount right now, $1.99 with my discount code JACK on checkout. The link's down below. Click on that. Spend $2 for somebody for Christmas. What a great gift. So, Dot Store, thanks. You picked a great time of year to be a sponsor because this video is going to be big. So thank you guys for sponsoring the show. Now come on in close. I'll show you the few ingredients we're going to be using to do Gordon Ramsay's beef Wellington. All right, guys, let's run down the ingredients. First of all, the only change I made, it asks for Parma ham. Nobody around has Parma ham. So I went with prosciutto. Very similar in texture and look and everything, and it's got a great flavor also. So we're going to be using this. Okay, then we got this is a fillet, I guess, like you would cut it up in a restaurant and you would get fillets. Well, this is like a fillet roast. Like you get a prime rib roast uncut. This is a fillet roast, a little tiny one for the beef Wellington. We got puff pastry, salt and pepper. You got some mushrooms. We've got English mustard. And we've got eggs. And you're going to need some cling wrap, okay? So other than that, it's just a bunch of steps. So get ready for these steps. Meet me over at the oven. And we'll get this thing started. All right, first thing we're going to do is season our meat. A little bit of salt. Got my carbon steel. Was going to do the cast iron, but I prefer carbon steel. Has the same effect. A little bit of oil in the pan. And with carbon steel or cast iron, you can go pretty high. Let me get that around. You can go high flame on this. You can't have nothing to worry about with that. All right, let's grab our meat, bring it over here. Give it a nice crust all over. It's about 60 seconds each side, no more than a minute. It'll finish cooking in the oven. All right, guys, don't forget to get the ends. You're going to have to pick it up, put it right on its side, let it rest. All right, as soon as it comes out, you want to apply your English mustard. If you can't find English mustard, you can probably order it through the internet. You can check the finer stores like a Gelson's or a Publix or Whole Foods. All right, so the next step we're going to do is we're going to load up our chopper with mushrooms, wild mushrooms, whole mushrooms, sliced mushrooms, it doesn't matter. But we want to finely chop them, okay? All right, before we chop these up, a little bit more seasoning. If you touch these mushrooms, they're really wet. So we're going to use this pan to dry out the mushrooms and get the water out of the mushrooms. So we're going to turn it into more of a paste. So let's get our flame on. And you want a dry pan to take the water out. You don't want any oil or water in it. Some mushrooms will have more than others. Go ahead and spread it out, and you'll see the liquid start to come out of this. So just take a few minutes to cook the water out of the mushrooms. It'll turn more into a paste. Then bring it on back over to the cutting board. We'll meet you on the island. Then we'll put it all together. All right, guys. So what we've done, we put a few slices of, this is our prosciutto, and we have laid it out. And yeah, that's it. And I almost forgot the steps. All right, now we're gonna take the mushrooms and coat everything with the mushrooms and lay out, smooth out a nice layer of mushrooms using a spoon, because that's what Gordon Ramsay used. So I'm trying to follow Gordon Ramsay's recipe. Make sure your cling wrap, don't touch your cling wrap because it'll start to cling. You don't want it to cling yet. We'll show you how to roll this in a minute. Now she has made a nice layer of the mushrooms. So now we're going to place the meat right in the middle, and then we'll proceed to roll after that. Okay, guys, we made it. We got it in the log shape in cellophane. The problem with this is the video doesn't show you that you need more. You need the wider roll of cellophane, not the narrow one, not the regular generic kind that you normally get. So you need the extra wide so you can twist it up. So we needed a second layer of cellophane to finish this shape, all right? So now we're gonna put this in the refrigerator. Once you have it rolled and tightened and in a log shape, go ahead and refrigerate this for 20 minutes. All right, when you get your ham or prosciutto cut, another warning, make sure it's cut at a thicker, it's not see-through. You want a thicker cut than normal so it'll hold shape too. Basically, Tammy helped roll this and she did an amazing job. I cannot take any of the credit for this. So we're gonna pop this in the fridge right now and chill it for 20 minutes. All right, guys, so we have a few things to talk about because it's not as easy as the video shows you or Gordon Ramsay shows you on TV, all right? So let's talk about the puff pastry right now. So we have our meat rolled in the refrigerator, getting solid right now with the mushroom coating and the ham around it and the mustard. But the puff pastry, if you look at the size here, it's not gonna be big enough. We measured the meat, the diameter, and the circumference. We measured it all. This won't cover it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get to this stage, you're gonna plop your meat on here, you start rolling, and you're gonna have a train wreck. Like we had you train wreck the other, you gotta get the long cellophane. These are things they don't tell you. They perfectly edit the video so it looks beautiful. So I'm trying to warn you, Tammy is gonna demonstrate how to make the puff pastry that you buy at the store big enough. If you don't have a larger puff pastry than this, which I don't think there's any other puff pastry than this brand here. I may be wrong, but we're going to demonstrate right now how she did it. So what we did was we took a piece of paper.
It was what was in the puff paper.
It was in the puff pastry box. We measured, and the meat's going to need pastry this long. So she only has pastry this long. So can you see the length here, right? So she's got to make this become this. So this is how she did it. Let me get out of her way. My wife's so amazing. But she wanted to film this so that we could warn you guys about the puff pastry. Before you put your meat on it, you've got to make it bigger.
Make sure it's defrosted first.
Make sure it's defrosted first. It's at room temperature. Then you gently take a rolling pin, and you're going to be kind of stretching out the dough a little bit, the pastry a little bit, in all directions, okay? Then you're going to be able to measure the tape against it and see that it's long enough. But this is the process she does between two pieces of parchment paper. She amazingly stretched out one of the pastries already. We wanted to show it on the other one. This is how she got it to be the perfect length that she needs to cover the meat entirely when it comes out of the refrigerator. All you need is a rolling pin and 2 sheets of parchment paper. So you can see right there that she basically stretched it. She got a little bit more stretching to do, but just be gentle and go slow so you don't tear up the puff pastry. And she said we should have probably went with like pie batter, pie crust that you can get flat also. That probably would have been better than puff pastry, but I'm not sure because puff pastry puffs. That's why it's called that. Time to put our egg wash on the pastry. You want to go around and do the whole thing. This is going to allow it to adhere to the meat. Okay, so Tammy's going to help me on this part. We'll place the meat in there, and then we're going to start wrapping it, and we're going to cover the whole thing with this brushed puff pastry. I'm getting over here out of her way. It looks beautiful. She's done an amazing job. And you're going to carefully roll it. You're going to kind of wrap it like a present. Okay, so she needed to double the size of the cellophane so when we wrap this final log, we can twist it and tighten it. That's it. Go ahead and pull it tight. So once again, she's improvising so wonderfully. We've twisted the ends, but they want to come undone. So we've kind of clothespin the ends to keep it twisted. Okay, so now we're going to put this back into the fridge for another half hour to solidify the puff pastry. There we go. Ta-da! All right, here's the part that is in the recipe, but not in Gordon Ramsay's video, okay? So I'm kind of winging this, just going by the words. So these are the ingredients for the red wine sauce that goes on top of beef Wellington. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to show you how to make it really quick, okay? We got beef trimmings, got thyme, got four shallots. They each come with 2. They're kind of like split in half. You're going to dice that up. You got the bay leaves, red wine vinegar, peppercorn, red wine, and beef stock. Okay, put a little oil in the pan. I'm running out of oil. I need to fill my oil bottle up. All right. Go ahead and heat that up for the beef trimmings. Make sure you got a flame. Yep, got a flame. Place your meat in there. So in a bowl, I got the thyme, the bay leaf, the shallots, and the peppercorn in here. Throw them in for about 5 minutes, get it cooked in. Get all the goodness out of everything. Just a splash of red wine vinegar. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. Okay, you guys ready for a little bit of wine? Just a little bit. Just a sprinkle. Just a little dash. Just pretty much the whole bottle. There you go. This is going to be great. And you're going to cook down this wine till you've almost reduced the entire thing. Okay guys, as you can see, all of that wine I poured in, has reduced down to almost nothing. See the bottom of the pan right there? There's a little bit of wine left, but I want to move on to the next step. You take the beef stock, pour that in. Okay. Now you're going to bring this to a boil. Once it gets to a boil, you're going to set it to a simmer and stop it at the thickness you like it at. That makes sense. If you like it really thick, stop it. If you like it really runny, stop it sooner. We got the broth boiling now. The wine's all done cooking down. The broth's now boiling. We're going to cook that down a little bit. Take it down to a simmer. Simmer means little tiny bubbles, not a full boil, but just kind of a small boil. That's kind of a simmer right there. And let it reduce. All right, I'm going to brush this right now. I'm going to brush this entire exterior. Give it that beautiful glow and glisten. We're going to lightly just drag across the middle. Do it one more time. Lightly drag across the middle. Then we're going to take little drags. Rotate it. And the last thing you want to do, hit it with some salt. Okay, you're going to put this in the oven at 390 degrees, 15 to 20 minutes, or until golden brown. Just like you're baking bread, all right? All right, let's go bring this into the oven now. All right, guys, we're going to use this strainer to put the sauce through it, get rid of all the chunky meat and the seasonings and everything. You ready? Go ahead. Oh my goodness. That meat smells amazing. Let me try some of that meat there. Oh my goodness. That meat falls apart. Ooh, a lot of wine in that meat. Take a spatula or a spoon and move everything around and get all the juice out. Okay, now there isn't a lot, but if you look in there, basically you're not going to want to drench your dish. You want to just drizzle a little bit, just for a little bit of that beautiful red wine flavoring, but it looks great. Oh, it smells good. Let's go check on our beef Wellington right now. Okay, guys. Tammy and I took the first attempt at making Gordon Ramsay's beef Wellington. It came out beautiful from what I can see. It feels great. It looks great. It's scored great. It's golden brown. It's solid. We're going to let it cool. Then we're going to cut. That's fine. Slice it open. Okay. Long strikes there. Long slices. There you go. All right. Ooh, crack that open. Turn the cutting board. Can you guys see that? Can you see that? That is beautiful. That is gorgeous. As you can see, the very ends got cooked more. See? But that's the beauty. That's what we're having tonight, right there for dinner. Okay. It's harder than it seems. You could see some of our breading start to fall apart where the mushrooms were because the juice of the fillet collected at the bottom of the pan we used. So you may want to bake it on a lifted rack. These are my recommendations. I've got a little bit of this juice here. I'm just going to take a little bit and spread it on. Just 1 spoonful of each. There we go. A little bit more. This smells amazing. We did it. Gordon Ramsay's beef Wellington. Totally was afraid, totally stressing out since I was asked to do it, and I finally did it and got it out of the way. You guys ready to try this? Let's give us a try right now. Real good. That sauce is amazing. Wow. So powerful. Give it a try, guys. Don't be afraid. Don't be like me. All right? Hit it out of the ballpark. That wasn't very difficult. Just go slow. Take your time. Follow the steps. And I hope it turns out beautiful. Definitely make this sauce. All right? I love you guys. We finally did it. And I will see you on the next episode.